Hi there and welcome to another Tip Tuesday here at IndySoft. My name is Keith and this week I'll be covering how to mass update gauge information using an Excel document. Also, we'll be able to create a gauge or import gauges using an Excel document as well. This is more directed towards our system administrators, as you do need to be a system admin to have access to the IS import module, which is what we're going to use today to achieve this update. Um, so let's go ahead and get started. So a common request that I get that I would use this method for would be, let's say we have a list of gauges that we want to update and have them represent as a master gauge. So if we wanted to check that box, but just check it for a lot of gauges. Our first step would be to set up an Excel document with a list of those gauges. So we have that right here. So I wanted to update this 7 through 20 incremented of gauges to represent as a master. So what we can do is first we need to represent a company value, a gauge value, and then we have our isMaster value. So we can say, is that a master or not? You'll notice that this company value is blank. We'll get to that once I get to the IS import module. If your company value is static and it's not going to change, you can go ahead and do it this way. If not, if it is going to be different throughout the file, you'll want to make sure you have the company value that this is going to. So if this is going to be company 1, and then we go for this one, this may be company 2, you'll have to represent that in your Excel file. But for this case, we are going to use something called a default value, so we do not have to worry about it. So we'll leave that as blank. And then this is master value. Since this is a checkbox value right here, we can represent that as a 1, or another way we could do it is a T, or we could type in true, or we can even type in a Y as well. But now that we have this set up, we want to go ahead and save this as a CSV file, as I like to work with the comma separated files more. So we'll have that, and then we'll jump into the IS import module. So I'm going to access that going into the installation directory of my IndySoft. If you are a cloud user, you may need to set up a sidebar link to access this exe. So now we'll log into the IS import module. Once we are in, we are presented here with step 1, and this is basically, what are you importing? So today we're going to be importing equipment information. If you were importing companies, you could go there, departments, descriptions, employees, a whole list of different items. But today we are doing the equipment information. And then we'll go to step 2, and then we'll need to select the file that we are going to import. So that is going to be located right here. It's that file that we made. And if this is a CSV file, we want to leave that as comma delimited. If it was in Excel, we'd want to change it to tab delimited. And then if you have an other, you can have your own custom other as well there. These two are always checked. I always like to leave this as a default checked value. This checkbox here suppresses duplicate item error messages. So let's say you had 2 items in here and you were creating 2 items. We do not allow 2 duplicate items in our database, so you were going to get an error message. And that error message will stop the IS import completely. So this will suppress that error message and allow your importation to complete all the way, even if it does have that duplicate error. So this next checkbox is going to be something that we need to check, as this is in our Excel file. We had header fields, so this basically tells the IS import module, hey, line 1 is just our header field, so you really don't need to import that. Next is just writing an error log. Then we have our retain our uppercasing, and then we can also manually specify template links. But for today's case, we need to check this third box and then select next. And on this left-hand side on step 3, you have all the available fields to you that you can update, or you can have access, or map to, I should say. And then on the right-hand side are all of your mapped fields, and this is in order of your Excel document. So you want your Excel document to match like column A here, column B, column C, and so on as you go through this module. So you'll notice here I kind of already have this set up. So if we didn't have this over here, I have my company field, my ID field, but did you notice that my company field was blank in my Excel? So I do need to provide a field for that. So what I'm going to do is set a default value. So I'm going to hover over company here and then click on this set default value button, and we want this company value to match the company that we are mapping to. So that is already in there as ABC company. So now every single gauge that I import will be under ABC company. Then we have our ID value, and lastly we need our master value. We can get that from that available fields list on the left. And now that we have our fields available to us and mapped, I always like to preview these. So we can use that using this button here, and we will be able to get a detailed view of what we are about to import, because you want to make sure that you select the correct fields, and you want to make sure that your data is making sense before you make these updates. So right now you have our field types, company ID, and master, and then these value in our import file is actually coming from the file itself. As you can see, these are our header values, and if I hit this next value, you'll see that they change. And now that's just saying a blank company because it is blank, but we are going to place that default ABC company value in here. We have the field descriptors, so if you're having a hard time saying, oh, is this the master field, or how do I use this field, we can go in here and say this is the true false field, and this will tell you that 1, D, true, Y, or yes is acceptable as a true value. Now that we are liking what we see, I can close this out and we can go ahead and press finish. And we're going to get a couple pop-ups when we press finish, and it's just some confirmations that we need to confirm. So the first one is just basically saying we are updating the database and changing data. So please make a backup of your old data. If you do make some changes that you don't like, you can always revert back to them. So it's a good idea to make that backup. And then the next pop-up is basically saying, hey, if a record exists, you want to update it with the information and overwrite it. We do want to do that in this case. And then lastly, we are presented with this one, and it's basically just telling us, hey, if there's not a company value associated, make sure to set that default value as well. And we did that. So we are ready to import. So I press yes, and you'll see that this imported with no errors. If you do get an error, you will get a pop-up here showing you exactly what that error was. And if we go ahead and reload our settings here, you'll see that this box will become checked. And if we go through, we checked 7 through 20. So if we go to 5, we can expect it to be not checked. And if we go to 7, we can say that it is checked. So that worked successfully. So now another thing that we can do is import a complete gauge in the system that doesn't exist already. So if we just have 1 through 20 in this company here, we'll need to create another Excel document. So if you have an Excel document, I have this one set up here, and this one's going to create a full gauge itself. So I'm going to create a gauge, and it's going to be in the ABC company. Notice that I'm not using a default value this time. I'm going to create a gauge called my gauge manufacturer. I'm going to add a model number, a serial number, add a note. So we're going to make sure that that gauge is active, and then we're going to also put a flag in there in custom text 1 so that we know that this is a imported gauge. So maybe that want to query it later down the line. So now that we have that set up for the Excel document, we can go through and import it using IsImport. Alright, so we need to just open it up again. I'll go into the installation directory and have to log in again. If I didn't close it out, I'd have been able to just start another one. And we are doing equip information. We want to again select our file that we are going to be importing. And that's going to be right here. And then we are doing again a comma delimited, and then my first line of my Excel file did contain headers, so we want to make sure we check that as well. Hit next, and now we need to map our fields. So if we remembered properly, it was company, then it was Gage SN, so we need to make that match, and then we're going to do manufacturer. Now let's bring that to the bottom here, and then we'll do a model number, and then I have a serial number that we need to map. And then we have our notes, which is actually called comments in our IS import. So that was what I was speaking of earlier. It's not always identical. So this value here is called comments in your IS import module. But in the back end of IndySoft, you'll see that as gauge underscore notes. And then lastly, we are doing custom text 1. Let's make sure I have that. So I believe, yep, right here. So it's custom text 1. And then we can make sure that our default value is not set for our company here, because if we did not have that, it would have overwritten it. And then lastly, this button here is a skip field. So let's say your Excel had an extra column that you didn't want to map, but we didn't want to change the Excel file. We can skip those columns. So it would go company, skip column, so it'd go A, skip B, and then go to C, and go to ID. But that's not how ours is set up, so I'm going to erase that one. That is if you do have that in your case. Now that we have this mapped, I always like to double check my preview and make sure my data that I'm importing makes sense. So we have a company value, my ID, my manufacturer model, and everything looks to be correct here. Oop, looks like I missed one, so I did forget to do the active. So let's make sure I added that. And that is why I always like to preview. And let's close that out and re-preview that. And that's looking better. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and press finish, go through those pop-ups, and complete that out. And if we go ahead and reload our settings here, we'll be able to find that we do have a my gauge in here with all of those information that we had from that Excel sheet right where we expected it in those fields. So that is a quick video of how to mass update specific items in the database using just an Excel file and taking advantage of our IS import tool. If you have any questions, anything regarding IndySoft, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support staff. We're happy to help. Thank you.